All right, so you decided that you want to start eating healthy because you want to be healthy. You want to make some changes. But the big question is hanging over your head. Does this mean that I have to become a vegan? Is that what it's going to take? Well, I'm going to answer that question and more coming right up. Hello, thanks so much for coming back to the Vital Blend. My name is Anthony Vita, and today I'm going to answer the question, if I want to start eating healthy, I want to change my diet, do I have to become a vegan? Do I have to use the V word now to define myself? Well, the short answer is no, you do not have to become a vegan to eat healthy. Now, I know there's a lot of vegans out there right now, probably their heads exploding, but let me just say this. If you are a vegan, I have no problem with you at all. I have no problem with vegans. If you are, great. But I'm trying to help people who are very, very sick, who want to make changes in their life, and the last thing that they need is to think that they have to join a club or do something that is going to be drastic. They've already experienced drastic. Your waist is 5 times bigger than it should be. Your arteries are full of garbage. You're taking pills that are sending chemicals into your body. You're eating foods that you think are healthy that are not. That's drastic. Changing what you eat is not drastic. Changing what you eat is going to help drag you out of this mess. The last thing that you need is to start thinking to yourself, I've got to become this. I've got to become this label, and this is going to define me. Let's sort some things out here. Okay, I personally am not a fan of labels. I've never been a fan of saying, yeah, I am this, and because I am this, I am defined by these things. I'm not really a fan of that. I want to try to keep your eye focused on the ball here, which is that you need to start eating a healthier diet. The diet that I recommend is plant-based whole foods. And if you're wondering, well, what the hell is that? Well, just ask yourself before you eat something, is it a plant? Is it plant-based? And is it a whole food? Has the food been processed? Let's take a potato. Is it plant-based? You bet it is. Is it a whole food? It is. Well, how about a potato chip? Is it plant-based? Yes. Is it a whole food? No. It's been processed into a chip. Okay, so maybe you start to see the picture here. And so you can look at fruits and vegetables and potatoes and rice and beans and corn and grains. And these are the foods that are plant-based and they're whole foods. They grow. You can eat them. You have to cook some of them, but you eat them as a whole food. When you start processing them, sending them into a factory, and you start extracting things from them, and you start adding chemicals to them, and you start adding this flavoring and that, that's when you start messing with things that eventually start to pull your health in the other direction. And so I want to keep you focused on plant-based whole foods and not on a label. Now, like I said, I've got nothing against vegans. For the most part, I think a lot of vegans eat the way that I advocate, plant-based whole foods. However, you could be a vegan and be eating processed foods. You could be eating potato chips. You could be eating and drinking beer and soy foods. These fake hamburgers and fake hot dogs and stuff like that. And you could be generally eating a very unhealthy diet and still be a vegan. So that's another reason why I wouldn't tell you to become a vegan, because the word vegan in itself doesn't explain exactly what it is that you should be eating. And I really think that there are a lot of vegans out there who, and they'll even tell you this, it's more than about food. It's more than just what you eat. A lot of it goes into some other areas. They're into animal rights. They don't like to see animals raised to be slaughtered and treated the way that they are. They don't like the fact that they make, shoes and belts and fur coats out of animals. They don't like the environmental impact that this has. I've seen farms that have dumped, blood and guts and crap into rivers to pollute streams. Not very, very good. So there's some vegans that also have it's more than just food. There's the impacts that it also has on the animals and on the environment. And if that's something that means a lot to you and that makes you want to become a vegan, then go for it. That's great. But my main audience here are people who want to make a change. They're sick of the way they look. They're sick of the way that they they feel, and they want to make a change. And the last thing that I think that you need to be wrapped up in is what label am I going to slap on me? The only labels that you have to be concerned about are the ones that describe your food, not you. Okay? So focus on plant-based whole foods like I just talked about. Now, one of the great things about being a vegan when it comes to the diet is that they exclude animal foods. And there's a lot of people out there who think that animal foods are a great health benefit, that it gives them healthy fats and it gives them healthy proteins, or I often see lean proteins, and these people are zombies. They've been duped. And the fact is that animal foods contain a lot of saturated fat, contain a lot of cholesterol. These are the types of things that add to plaque inside of our arteries. Animal foods contain bacteria and viruses, often antibiotics, other types of pesticides and chemicals and hormones. Not to mention that animal foods, yes, they've got protein, but protein is another big hype, and we don't need more protein. We get enough protein from the plants that we should be eating. We don't need to have animal protein. You know, animal protein, it just encourages growth, because that's what protein does. It encourages growth, so it will grow the normal cells inside of your body, and if you've got any cancerous cells or tumors, it will grow that too. And it could promote kidney stones and lots of other types of health issues that we see all around us. You know, if you want to know what it's like to eat predominantly plant-based whole foods, then look at the health of your typical vegan that eats a plant-based whole food diet. Look at the blue zones. The blue zones are areas of the world historically that have eaten plant-based diets, and they're the healthiest. They live to be 100 years old, and they have very little animal products. They have maybe 5% of their meals are coming from animals, and they're very, very healthy. If you want to know what it looks like to have a predominantly animal-based diet, just do this. Go outside, go to your local mall, and look around. You're going to see a lot of people who look sick. They're overweight. I guarantee you most of them are on medications for lowering their cholesterol, lowering their blood pressure. And if this is what you want for yourself, maybe you don't have it now, but eventually will be in indefinite line for it. Most people, by the time they get to 60, they're on some kind of medication for something because the diet has caught up with them. And if that's the route that you want to go, then keep doing what you're doing. But I'm talking to people who want to make a change. You want to reverse what you have. You want to prevent having a heart attack. You know, maybe you don't want your children having a heart attack when they're 20 years old. You know, maybe you don't want your 10-year-old to have type 2 diabetes. You know, this can all be prevented by eating a plant-based whole food diet. This doesn't mean that you have to give up animal products 100%, but it does mean that you have to start cutting them back. And if you can cut them out, then cut them out. But try to start with maybe a meatless Monday. That would be one meal, or I should say one day out of the week where you don't have any animal. You know, maybe for dinner, chances are you already have meals that are very close to being vegan anyway. You know, just take the chicken out, and you're still going to have the potato, the baked potato, maybe with some greens and a salad, and maybe double the portion size of the potato. And there you go. You've got yourself what would be called a vegan meal or a plant-based whole food meal. Don't get caught up on the word vegan. Don't get caught up on labels. Just do the right thing. Eat your plant-based whole foods and eat them predominantly, and don't worry about the labels. All right, I want to hear what you have to say. You know, what do you think about changing your diet and you know, taking animal foods out? What do you think of the word vegan? I want to hear from you. Put your comments and questions below. Click like and subscribe. And I make these videos for you because I want to share what I've learned so it can help change your life. All right, I've got more videos coming soon. Keep it here in the Vital Blend. Thank you.